So I checked myself into a psych ward Tuesday and was let out after 12 hours. So I checked myself in at 8 o'clock in the morning and was let out at, 8 o'clock at night and was let out at 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday. And essentially, I had a 12-hour long therapy session. They had to do a psych eval, and they said I was normal. I'm perfectly fine mentally, and that although it's alarming what happened to me, to me, it is a perfectly normal experience. They say that this happens all the time to people and that it's not something to really worry about. They said, although I find it to be the creepiest thing that ever happened to me, they said it's perfectly normal. This happens to people all the time. Um, Normally, it's something that happens like every 3 or 4 years to people, and people don't really notice it when it happens to them. But it's called something memory modification, and it's normal. Now, I probably have a different definition of normal than what a psychologist does because I don't find that normal at all. I don't think it's normal to wake up and completely remember your life events to be completely different from what they really were. But apparently it happens, and when it does happen, it's usually something small. It's not something as drastic as your YouTube channel. They say that it's normally not something that big, but it can be. Normally, it's small things like you remember going to an amusement park when you didn't, or you remember one of your friends dying when you know, but they just moved away. They didn't actually die. You never went to that funeral. They're not dead. They just moved. Things like that. Those are things that actually normally happen to people. And although people find it weird, they said that it's normal, and I should probably just go home and not really think much about it because the more you think about it, the more you'll drive yourself crazy. They said that although this experience can lead to delusions, it only leads to delusions of people that are already delusional to begin with, which is weird, but it makes sense. As I said, it's a whole lot easier for me to process that it was something wrong with me than there is something wrong with the universe. And they said that if you were really delusional, you wouldn't say I wouldn't be checking myself into the psych ward. I would be like, I'm in the wrong universe, like the people with the Mandela effects do. And so, um, although it's nice to know it's a normal experience, it's kind of weird human mind can do things like that. Can you imagine, like, the things that you think you know about yourself that aren't actually true? That's kind of scary. But it's completely normal, according to psychologists. It's completely normal to remember going to an amusement park that you never actually stepped foot in, or playing a video game when you were younger that didn't actually exist, or watching movies that don't actually exist, or remembering events in your childhood completely out of order, but still remembering them as if they happened in that order. Like they said that it's normal for a person to confuse something that happened to them when they're 8 and then remember they were 5, but still have all the relevant information from the memory for being 5. Like you still remember the things that you still remember it as if you were 5 and not as if you were 8. They say these are just normal memory failures that happens to everybody, and it will happen to you multiple times in your life. Now, it is they do say that drastic ones like mine, um, actually, they've done studies to show that it's like a precursor to how you can predict if a person's going to get dementia. And so they said that I should worry about that when I'm older. But other than that, I'm fine. I mean, obviously, I have a different definition of fine than psychologists do, but I'm fine. And I'm good. And I'm happy.